Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of Cage Side with Christopher James. We are live in the Cage Side with Christopher James studios here in Tampa, Florida, and we have got a good show. I'm bringing in guys from Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Tonight, we're going to talk to two of them. First, in a few minutes, we're going to have on the Bandito himself. ELVIN BRITO is going to join us on the show. We're talking about his upcoming bout with my next guest at 9:30, KALEB Lionheart Harris. Before we get into those two guests, though, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship does take place July 24th. In Oxford, Mississippi. It's going to be a pay-per-view. I believe it's going to be a free pay-per-view, which is weird, a free pay-per-view. But anyway, we'll get into all that later on. A couple of things. I want to let you know that Island Fights is back July 25th in Pensacola at the Haji Shrine. I can't wait. Bouts are being announced every single day now, so keep your eyes out for that. And big news besides in the UFC, of course, we know Masvidal and Usman are fighting for the welterweight championship this Saturday night, 6 days' notice. Masvidal took the fight on short notice after Gilbert Burns pulled out because of COVID. And he got paid what he wanted. Well, almost what he wanted, he said, but enough to get him back into the octagon. But just announced now, as you see on the bottom of the screen scrolling, Pedro Munoz is out of his bout July 15th, which would be the second Fight Island card. He tested positive for COVID. So Frankie Edgar is now left without a dance partner. A couple of guys have offered their services, Jimmy Rivera and Cody Stamen and somebody else, but I forgot who the other person was. But that's the big news breaking with the UFC tonight. If anything else comes across to me during this broadcast, I will immediately break in and give you guys that information. But right now it's time to bring in our first guest of the night, my man. I've announced him at Combat Night. He's fought at BKFC. This dude does it all. He doesn't care if it's bare knuckle fighting, MMA, karate, tiddlywinks, thumb wrestling. If there's action to be had, you're going to find him there. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show tonight, the man himself, ELVIN El Bandito Brito. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Oh, you know, I'm living the dream, baby.
All right, we're both doing the thing then.
Amen to that. So, you're down there in Puerto Rico, living up on a nice tropical island paradise. I know there's been some crazy stuff after the hurricanes and stuff, and you went home to, help get things cleaned up. But life is coming back to normal there on the island. With COVID breaking out all over the world, you're the first person I'm speaking to in Puerto Rico since this broke out. So give us an assessment of what's going on the island, how your life has changed from what it was once before COVID to what it is now. How do you live, shopping, training, all that stuff? So give us first give us an update on the island and what's going on down there, if there's a lot of cases and all that stuff, because I don't really know.
Well, Puerto Rico's doing good. Like we have like our citizens good. Like most people, we've been wearing masks since it started. Like people are like the U.S. is pretty much catching up to how Puerto Rico's been from the beginning. People over here have been pretty compliant with it. And there hasn't really been a lot of deaths or cases from it. I mean, we still getting this is like a world thing. So like everybody's pretty much getting it. So we're all on lockdown. Same thing. Like I think 10 o'clock curfew. You gotta wear a mask to go in the store. I was a little worried when we first started. About the training because we train all the time. We got to stay ready to fight. But we were able to find a place where we could train. We're like way up in the mountains too, so we're like always doing mountain training and stuff like that. So that's been good. I've been able to focus on a lot of strength training. It hasn't really interfered too much with my training, except I haven't been able to spar as much. A lot of gyms are still closing or trying to figure out exactly how they're going to work it out. A lot of people are concerned about people getting sick. Some people are just more worried about some people are worried about the legalese about it. Because you don't want to get fined either if you have a small business. A lot of small businesses are dealing with a lot of pressure, and their middle class is taking it the worst right now everywhere, so This is how it is. I've been lucky that what I do it hasn't really affected me too much because most all the work I do is online, so I don't interact with anybody. I'm already living in the future, so it hasn't really it hasn't really bothered me. It hasn't affected me personally too much. But a lot of people I know have been affected here, and I know people everywhere here in the U.S., here in Puerto Rico, in the U.S., everywhere. People, a lot of people's businesses have to shut down because you can only take so much because you still have to pay all the bills. So, you know, that's really what I've seen the worst. You know, personally, what I've seen the worst. As far as cases, I think Puerto Rico's done pretty good compared to the rest of the world. So, I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, are there a lot of people out there that have tested positive? I mean, do you have a lot of people running around the island that have positive tests, or has there been a lot of death on the island of Puerto Rico?
No. There hasn't. I mean, there has been a lot more testing. You know, when you do more testing, more people are coming out positive, but there hasn't been a lot of deaths. You know, as far as compared to our population, we have like, I don't know, like almost 4 million people here on the island, and it's fairly low.
We have in Dade County, Florida. God damn.
Yeah, it really has a lot of you.
Yeah. So, you said you were worried about your training and getting in and getting the sparring in.
Yeah.
Have you been able to find people to spar with though periodically just to get a little bit of work?
I got people. We go in layers, and we do some. We just go. We usually go in and a lot of the gyms are closed. We still go in the gyms. We do privately, so the gyms aren't technically open. It's private property, so we do a lot of closed door sparring and stuff like that with a lot of guys. We still do our thing. We try to stay in normalcy, as much as we can, but there's only so much you could do,
Yeah. How are your goats?
Oh, my goats, they're fat, dude. My goats, they don't even know there's a problem. They don't even know, They're like, oh, dude, it's paradise.
My boy Paul,
Paul's
Paul.
so big I can't even pick him up.
You see his comment on there,
pick him up anymore.
Paul Andres Dominic. He goes, he still lives with his goats.
Oh, yeah, I got all the goats. I got more goats. Now I got 6. I got probably a couple more on the way, too.
And he shout out to Puerto Rico. Hey!
What's up?
Hey,
we're doing good, yeah.
Shout out to Debbie Gamble, Florida's #1 MMA fan tuning in. Shout out to my friend Forrest Daniels.
What's up, guys?
He shared this to some good for me. Thanks, Forrest. I shared it to Forum and I shared it to Freaks. For you guys watching from MMA Freaks or Bare Knuckle Fight Club or any of the group I shared to, man, I hope you're enjoying the show. We are live. It's Kate's with Christopher James, and we're getting deep on Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 11, I guess this would be. And it's going to be in Oxford, Mississippi. We're talking to a man who's going to be competing on the card.
Yeah.
Elvin El Bandito Brito. He is taking on Caleb the Lionheart Harris. Before we get into the matchup, though, we were talking a little bit off the air before we started the show. And I had mentioned to you that, every fighter wants to win. Every fighter needs to win. But and you were pretty honest with me, and that's why I'm bringing it up again. I said to you off the air, I said,
we're real.
You need to win. And
I definitely need to win. But
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell everybody your philosophy on why you need to win, because a lot of fighters don't get it. And what you said to me off the air before we started the show was one of the most brilliant, real answers I've ever heard from a fighter about needing a win, knowing where you're at and everything. So, guys, so I asked him off the air. I said, you need a win, man. Me and Elvin are friends. I've known him a long time. I've announced different fights for him in different places. Yeah. And I said, dude, you need a win. I don't want to see you not around anymore. So when I said that to him, this is what he said. So tell us what you said when I said you need a win.
I'm gonna try to remember. But I love fighting, and when you see me fight, you know I love fighting. You see my last fight, and especially bare knuckle, but and I lost my last 2 fights, and there's a reason why I'm a staple. Even though I lost the last 2 fights, I'm still gonna be the main card. Probably still be the co-main event. There's a reason for that, because I am a good fighter. But I have to win. If I lose again, I can't ask to come back. Hopefully they'll bring me back. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be real, because you have to win. You have to offer. You have to win. This is what it is about. It's a ruthless. It's a ruthless sport. And it is what it is. But I don't remember exactly what I said. But
you said that, and then you said, look, the bottom line is, if I don't win, David ain't gonna want to bring me back. I got to win fight for them to want to bring me back. I mean, the promoter's position. And what he has to do, it's not personal. Business is business. And
I do good. You see me fighting, I'll fight with the best guys always around. I'll beat the best guys, I'll lose to the best guys, but I always come and be the best. As I said, I'm always on the main card. I'm not a bottom card guy. Why would you put me? Got to put me on the main card. We're gonna bring.
When you get in there, win or lose, whether you win or whether you lose, you can always guarantee that Elvin's going to bring a fight to the octagon, to the ring, to the cage, and so that's why you get to stick around.
I need this win. I need this win. This is not even about the money, because this is prize fighting, bare knuckle. and like this is my fourth fight now in bare knuckle. Like my first fight, we were all like PTSD when we came out of our first fight. Everybody was like, "Oh, holy shit!" This is crazy. We fought bare knuckle BKFC 3, in Mississippi, and it was one of the bloodiest events. I mean, everybody was getting murdered out there. I got knocked out of the night too that night. It was an awesome fight.
That shit was crazy that night.
I need more. Yeah, it was a crazy night. And we were like, oh man, a lot of people when they fight bare knuckle, like, I don't know if I want to do this again, But I have to come for the second fight when I fought Jim, and he caught me early. He got me out of nerve, put me out, and then I was like, man, I got it. It was easy money for me. I didn't even get, and I was like, I gotta get back in there because I know I got. And then fighting. I fought.
You're freezing up.
I'm sure a lot of him.
You're freezing up a little bit.
Kind of knocked me out, but yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, you're going in and out. You were freezing up, so.
All right, yeah. You're freezing up on me a little bit too.
Well, yeah, I think where you're at, maybe your internet's a little soft.
Let me see. Let me see if I can fix it.
By the way, called you the goat whisperer. He just commented that on the screen. He said that's the goat whisperer right there. I love it. Are you there? Well, if we lost him, hopefully he'll pop back in here in a second. Sometimes that happens, but he's on that island. Can you hear me? Do you get a better signal outside? Earth to Elvin. Come in, Elvin. All right, he completely froze out there. I don't know if his phone died or if he just lost the internet signal. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear? Yes or no? All right, hold on a second. I don't know if I just sent him a private chat message. I don't know if he sees the message or if he can hear me right now. Earth to Elvin. Come in, Elvin. Earth to Elvin. Come in, Elvin. He's moving around the house. I mean, we can see him now. He's moving. Wonder if he's going outside to play with the goats. You guys can see I got the bare knuckle behind me right there, man, the ring. So while we're waiting for Elvin to come back, he was talking about how he knows he needs to win this fight. Promoters have a job to do, and they got to put on fights with guys that are going to win fights. And, you can only get so many fights, and lose so many before a promoter has to say, hey, look, man, it's not personal, it's business. But he knows he needs this win. Can you hear me now, Elvin? I don't think he can hear us. I could see him. His screen froze, but I could see him. I don't know if he could see me. Can you hear me or see me? Yes, no? Let me send him a message on Messenger. Maybe he'll get that. Are you there? I can see you. Hold on, I'm going to send him a message. Sorry about the delay, guys. Sometimes this happens. So I'm going to remove him. All right, there we go. I think he got the message. So I just sent a message to him to click out, click back in. But yeah, I got the bare knuckle fighting right behind me. Ha ha ha. We are live with El Bandito Brito, and he'll be joining us here in just a second. He had to click out. I think he lost his internet signal. Sometimes it freezes up. All right, we're going to add him in. All right. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you the whole damn time.
I couldn't hear you at all. So, all right. So we're back with Elvin.
Connection there.
He had just mentioned, we were talking about him.
I'll probably go back inside.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Stay right there.
I was just talking about how my. It's just a good. I
don't want to lose you again.
We were talking about my fight with Palomino. How like I had a lot of fun with Palomino, but like, and I, you know, a lot of people probably expected him to run me over, but you know, he you know, he knew we actually had a really good fight. He knew better. He actually came prepared for a lot of stuff that I had to give, because that, you know, I have a unique style also that's particular, you know, so especially
Yep.
from bare knuckle. So
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to this Caleb fight. It's a good matchup, man. We're gonna, you know, and I fought 3 times bare knuckle, and I haven't gotten hurt this whole time. And Caleb, he's you know, he's a young prospect. I expect him to go. You know, I like him a lot. He's real tough. He's probably one of the toughest dudes in bare knuckle. He's gonna go a long way in bare
Yep.
knuckle. You know, if he keeps going, but I'm gonna beat him. You know, I'm gonna beat him. You know, and it's not because it's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna beat him. It's easy, but like I'm gonna beat him. I'm gonna take this win. You know, and I expect to get hurt in this fight because he's tough. So if we gotta beat the shit out of each other, then so be it. But I'm taking this win. You know,
Yeah.
and like I said, this one's not about the money. Like I love this sport, and I have to stay in it. So like, you know, whatever. It's just,
Yep. Caleb and Jim
the
Allen
money.
had a phenomenal fight. I mean, that was
Yeah,
a war. They went to
yeah,
the distance.
yeah,
Caleb also owned one of the nastiest knockouts I've seen at bare knuckle since
yeah,
they
yeah.
started. You know, the fight before Jim, and I mean, it went viral, million hits. I mean, he
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
the kid's a tough kid.
yeah,
The funny thing
yeah,
is, because he fought Allard, went through decision. You fought Allard, you lost and knocked out, and we talked about that off the air. And you said to me, the
yeah.
funniest. I've never heard a fighter say this after getting knocked out. You've said, easiest money I ever fucking made.
Yeah, yeah, because it's different than like it's different when you got gloves. You know, like if you hitting the button, you're going down. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, you know, you're going down. And I was like, I didn't even get. It wasn't like a concussion or anything, or I wasn't sore. Besides the cut, you couldn't even tell I was hurt. I'm like, man, I need to get like. I felt bad. I'm like, damn, I just got money, but I didn't even do shit. Like, I need to get back in there. You know. And I gave a great fight this last fight. You know, this is a good fight. I could have won that fight, and I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna win this fight. I'm hungry to take this fight. I've been working real hard. And I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna give a show. That's always what I do. That's guaranteed. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Now,
But
are there
you know,
going to be travel issues coming out of Puerto Rico for you? I mean, have you looked into that
nah.
yet?
Hopefully
Make
I can
sure
get
that
back in. Hopefully I can get back in. You know,
so
the
flying
only
out
thing.
won't be a problem, but you're worried about coming home.
Yes, yes. There's a lot of restrictions. The restrictions are they're kind of funky out here. You know.
Will
Uh,
they just, you know, if you land in Puerto Rico, I'm guessing you're flying to San Juan and out of San Juan.
yeah.
So do they have, like, when you fly in now, are they making people
You
that
have to be
fly in
tested 72
quarantine?
hours before the flight. You have to be tested 72 hours before the flight. And if you're not tested, they gotta test you over there. Even if you test negative, they hold you for like you have to be quarantined for 14 days. You gotta stay home or something like that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, let's
I
say
got bad.
before
That's
you
it.
get on the plane to come back to Puerto Rico, you have to take another COVID test, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you get on the plane, you took your COVID test. When you get off the plane in Puerto Rico, are they automatically enforcing a quarantine on arriving passengers, whether you're a resident or not?
They'll give you a quarantine if you don't have proof that you've been tested within the last 72 hours before your flight.
I
Yeah.
gotcha. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully,
Yeah.
have you guys talked to
Yeah.
have you guys talked to BKFC about how they're doing the testing and everything?
I'm not worried about it, man. I just want to go fight, man. I'll deal with it. Hopefully, it doesn't give me too much problem. I'm gonna have all my work done before I leave. So even if I get held back, I'll be all right. I just want to go out there, you know. I want
I
to
know
get some
you
bare knuckle
want
fighting
to go
going.
back to work, and you got to get off
I
the
want to get that
island.
work. Yeah, I want to get that work. I love the island.
The
Yeah.
UFC is going out to Fight Island, and Elvin's going, I got to get off the island of Puerto Rico for a few days, go out there, back to the States, and have a fight, maybe knock somebody out, then come back to the island.
Yeah, and I love Mississippi too. They're an awesome bare knuckle crowd. I can't wait to give them a really good fight too. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. So I can't wait to go out there. I fought in Biloxi the one time, and it was a really great experience. And we don't have to wear those 4-ounce mitts they make us wear in Florida. We'll actually be able to do some real bare knuckle, you know.
It's going to be
So
crazy, man.
it'll be that's how I like it. You know, it's actually safer for the fighters because you gotta, you know, a lot of people don't understand how there's you know, this is the whole different thing, man. You know, it's a whole different thing. You know, this is head, body, and hands. You know, and
Yep.
you know.
Do you
So,
wish that bare knuckle was around sooner than it is now? Like maybe like 5 years ago, because you could have jumped into it then, and you know who knows where you'd be right now.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
Well, I'm looking forward to the future. You know, because I want to get past this obstacle. You know, and I'm looking forward to the future. You know, I pretty much, you know, I'm getting what I want. You know, ain't nothing stopping me from getting what I want. and this fighting thing is just, it's just something. It's just something that I want to do, and so I'm ready. I'm ready to get in there.
Yeah, definitely. So you know, it's funny because I talk to MMA fighters more than I talk to bare knuckle guys, but I've talked to quite a few bare knuckle guys. Excuse me. And you know, I talked with Jim Allers and Luis Palomino last week. They'll be fighting for the inaugural 155 title.
Yeah.
And Larry Downs Jr. Let me pop him on the screen here for you. He's throwing the smile, the love, and the 100 right behind you, right
Lay
there.
down. That's my man right there.
That's what I'm talking about. But like I talked to Allers and I talked to Palomino, and both of them had mentioned conditioning their hands
Yeah.
to be stronger, to be able to take more abuse, maybe not to scrape and cut as much when they're hitting
Yeah.
their opponents. Is that something you've been doing? You know, there's only so much you could do to prep for a bare knuckle fight. I mean, you know, you work on your clinch, you know, because you can use the clinch, you know, the overhand clinch.
Yeah.
So you know, an overhook and a clinch, and you can use that. And you work on your footwork. But other than that, it's you know, knock somebody out or get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know, you're not training grappling, you're not training jujitsu.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you're in shape to go.
No, it's fighting
hard.
in its purest form. You know, it's fighting in its purest form. It really is.
It really is. So what do you do as a bare knuckle fighter now that this is your fourth appearance, I believe, or is this your fifth?
This is my fourth.
All right.
Yeah.
So now you're somewhat of a veteran there. You've been there 3 times already. You trained for these fights. So what specifically do you do to train for a bare knuckle fight other than, you know, hit the heavy bag? Because you don't want to spar bare knuckle during
You
all
can't
this.
spar bare knuckle. That's like insane, you know. But like, you know, like
Wait, hold on.
Heard,
Hold on. Look at the screen now. Dean Tool said, "Sup?
What's up? That's my man. Hey, Dean was the one who got me in bare knuckle, so I always gotta give him a shout
remember
out for
Dean.
That.
You know, Dean gets a lot of guys to UFC. He's got a lot of guys into bare knuckle. He sent Brock over there. He sent Chase Sherman over there. You know, Chase Sherman is now their American heavyweight champion, as well as fighting in the UFC now. Dean Tool gets shit done.
Yep.
So
he got me in that fight.
What are you doing to train specifically for a bare knuckle fight?
Now, I train a lot with the bare knuckles, you know. But dude, I don't really have a problem. Like I never hurt my hands. Dude. Like I fought 10 rounds bare knuckle.
Hey, hold on. Dean wanted me to make sure I got the comment right because that he said sup. This one right here, the first one.
What up? What up, blood?
It's a little drop of blood. So then he go, I said sup, blood. I love Dean, man.
No, Dean's my man. You know, and he put me in there. You know, they put me against a hometown guy, and I gave him a hell of a knockout. You know, they had to bring me back, so it was awesome. You know?
Absolutely. All right, so now, what do you do to specifically train for the bare knuckle fighting?
I do a lot of weight. Like I weight my hands down. You know, I'll put a couple like 5-6 hands on, and I'll just hit it. I'll hit the bag, and you know, do a lot of just bare knuckle stuff. You know, but I don't really train anything specifically because the main thing for me is like points of contact. Like my hand always lands right. You know, I never hurt my hands. You know, I never hurt I'm gonna come after my next fight. I'm gonna show you again. I show you every time. I never hurt my hands. That's why I'm like, man, I'm made for this, man. Put me back in there. And some people, it's anatomic, you know, and it's good. I have noticed that when I first started doing bare knuckle, and I hit the bag, first day of the training camp, I hit the bag, and I was like, oh man, I'm made for this. I'm good. I'm hitting the bag really hard. And the rest of the training camp, my hands were fucked up. I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to fight, you know. But I still got through my training camp. I toughed it out. And but lately, you know, I'll hit the bag. I'll blast that bag. I'll blast the pads. You know, I'll hit as hard as I can. I never, you know, it's just I've gotten conditioned. Maybe it's just from doing it, but I've always been good at it. I think the main thing is just a lot of people just throw whatever. You gotta be real. You know, this sport is gonna be evolved. You can't just wail on people. You know, this is more than just athletic ability because you won't last long if you just beast it every time. You can't just. I would love to fight. I could fight. No round limit, so we knock each other the hell out. Somebody gets knocked out. I don't care. You know, I'm fighting for another 5 years.
That's why I love you. And Dean's chiming in again. He said, "Did you see what happened? You see what happened when I matched his first bare knuckle fight? Harris,
we're gonna bring that back. We're gonna bring that back. We're gonna bring that back. Don't worry. You know, I've been training real hard, and they said 165. You know, I'm always, you know, except you know, Palomino's an exception. He was really fast off the rip, you know. But I'm always and he's smaller than me. He's like the first small guy fought. You know, usually I don't fight guys smaller than me. It's like a weird incident, you know, just fighting a guy smaller than me. And he's small and fast, you know, and but I'm usually the faster guy, even at 155. And unless I slow down from getting tired. In my last fight, I didn't get tired at all. I mean, ever since I got Puerto Rico, I got like plus 20 endurance, you know, just being up in the mountains, you know. I'm always fucking running through the mountains doing my thing. So we're just ready to get it, you know.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm excited to watch this fight. You need a win. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
And if you play your cards right, after your fight on the 24th, you need to jump in a car and haul ass down to Pensacola and join us for Island Fight 63, July 25th.
Awesome.
At the Haji Shrine. You know all about Island Fights.
We
got a huge amateur show coming up. It's our first fight back since the pandemic, just like this is Bare Knuckle first fight. I'm bummed that it's on the same weekend. Although maybe after the weigh-ins for Island Fights, I'm going to zip up to Oxford and hopefully, you know, I can get in there and watch you guys go. You know, I'm going to have to reach out to David Feldman. Hey, and Dean said, facts. Hey, Dean, you think we can get into Island Fights, or get into Bare Knuckle the night before up in Mississippi and then haul ass back after
run it back?
Be there for
you gotta show up there. I was gonna ask you if you were gonna be there because you know this Bare Knuckle.
Dean, are we going? Are we going
to
Oxford, Mississippi from Pensacola? It's not that far, right? I mean, it's not that far. So we could drive up to Oxford. He's taking the PJ.
Bring it. Somebody gonna need it.
I fucking love it, man. So, we have hopefully we'll be able to do that. I'm going to reach out to David Feldman and see if we'll be able to get in, you know, if I can cover the event live for the website and for my show. And that way we can just go live right from the spot.
Have to explain,
then you can show me your hands right there up close. We'll do a live interview. Look, my hands are good, motherfuckers.
I told you. I'm going to tell you again. I'll do it every time.
Dean said we're taking the private jet up to that motherfucker. Well, that might just be for Dean. He might not let any of us get on there. You know, it might just be his private toy. I don't know. I hope I'm allowed to get on the private jet if he's doing it, man. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll fly you on the private jet to Pensacola so you can come watch the fights.
Hey, let's do it.
I'm in.
Hey, we're gonna have to. As long as you explain it to my wife, we'll figure it out.
All right, Mrs. Brito. We have to borrow your son for a little while. He needs to be a judge at our show. And he's got to go out there and hang out with Dean because, you know, Dean got him that first bare knuckle fight, you know, and got him into this. So now he wants to hang out with Dean and pay a little homage, maybe have a cocktail or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, I was their champ too. You can't forget
and then
that
coach
too.
Some kids.
Yeah, you know, and I'm glad we're in Mississippi because, you know, I had bad freaking experience with the freaking Florida Commission. They fucked me over a whole bunch of times. So, you know, so you know, I'm glad I'm in Mississippi.
Who fucked you over?
No, the commission over there. You know, it's not their fault. It's, you know, like I had to serve some really bad decisions. You know, in my opinion. So
oh, okay.
All you gotta do is watch the fight. So I'm just
I'm
glad to switch it up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you like the fact that bare knuckle? You know, for the most part, the judges are left out of it because most of these fights are finishes. So you don't have to worry about a judge having any input on your career.
Yeah. I know. That's why, you know. That's why my last fight, I was like, dude, let's do another 5 rounds. I don't want the judge. You know, I can keep going. Yeah. So I like the fact that the fights usually end before the last bell rings. So we're gonna make this happen this next fight. So I'm looking forward to this.
I'm excited. Dean Toole's excited. And to be honest, man, the fans of bare knuckle are excited because, you know, like you said, even though your record doesn't show it, when you go out there to fight, you go out there to fight. You know, you put on a show, win or lose. Like I said, your attitude is the best. You know, when you said to me that, you know, I lost to Jim Allers, I got knocked out quick. He hit me on the button. Fucking easiest money I ever made. You weren't even complaining about losing or anything else. You weren't hurt. You're just like, easy money. You were complaining that you didn't get to fight more. That's all you were.
Yeah, I was like, fuck. I wish I had more time to bang it out. You know, fuck. Yeah, but what? I want to get to another. They give me the opportunity to come back. You know, this is another chance to come back. I love Dave for it. I'm glad he brought me back. And we're gonna be on the main card. This should be a co-main event. I don't see why it wouldn't be. I said there's a reason why we're always on there, and we're gonna show it on the 24th. And we're coming stronger. I made my little bit of adjustments. And I'm ready to it's just show my thing. I fight it a little bit different. I'm not coming in there to just beast it. I'm a technician, and I plan on coming in there and being surgical with the way I fight. And I'm gonna come out, and I'm gonna tell you afterwards.
And you said to me, we were talking about Caleb a little bit. You like the matchup. He's a tough kid.
Yeah, Caleb is tough as hell.
Is there something that you particularly need to watch out for with Caleb? Like, is there a specific thing?
He's vicious, man. He's a lion. He ain't gonna lay down for you. He's vicious, and he's got power in his punches. You gotta this is bare knuckle, man. If you don't respect people, you get put away. Last guy who didn't respect Caleb, he put him to sleep. It was but it was one of the worst. So I respect all the guys stepping out with me. But I know what I'm worth. I'm coming in there to prove my worth. So
all right, now Caleb, I have Caleb standing by in the holding pen.
Go ahead,
come on right after you. Before I have you exit and bring him in, is there anything you want to say to Caleb?
No, man, I know Caleb's gonna be ready. There's not much to say. I'm gonna have some chicken consomme from the backyard for us after the weigh-ins.
All right.
I don't want to cheat.
Listen, actually, hold on. Before you jump out, let me just bring him in so you guys could talk face to face for a minute before I do his interview. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this man into the show. He's going to say hi to Elvin. These guys are professionals. They don't expect any shit talking, and if they do shit talk a little, so what, man? It's part of the fight game. Here he is right now, Caleb Lionheart Harris. Caleb, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Good goddamn training.
What's up, brother?
I like the lid. I like the lid.
Appreciate it, man.
So, Elvin said, he's gonna have some chicken waiting for you after the fight. You guys can hang out and grub, man.
After the weigh-ins, I got the special stuff. I got the special sauce. I don't want to cheat. That stuff probably should be illegal, but we gotta bring it in.
It's Mississippi, bro.
Since you just got here,
hopefully I don't go out. I might go out on you guys.
All right, hang on, hold on, Elvin. Before you jump out, I want to say what you said about Caleb. Caleb, he said that he knows you're a tough guy. He knows you're going to bring a fight. He respects the shit out of you, but he is coming there to beat you because he needs a win, and it's got to be you. He said so.
Well, that's the guy that put in front of me. What can you do?
Yeah.
We were just talking about matchups the other day. And this is a gentleman's sport. And we're gonna be cool the whole time. When we go in there, we're gonna beat the shit out of each other. We're gonna try to freaking rip each other's head off, and then when we're done, we could move on to our next thing.
I think you should save the chicken and the special sauce for after the fight, man, because that can make both of you run.
Nah, dude, I know better than that, bro. I'm telling you, we'll be ready.
All right, well, Elvin, listen. Thank you for coming in tonight. Safe travels when you come over from Puerto Rico. Stay tuned in and listen to what Lionheart has to say, and God bless you and your family and everybody out there in Puerto Rico. Oh, and God bless your goats, brother.
You're going to see him soon again.
All right, man. Elvin, we'll see you.
I'll see you in Mississippi, guys.
All right, man. Peace.
All right.
Oh, man. I love Elvin, man. He's such a cool cat. He's such a cool dude.
Oh, yeah.
I've announced his fights before, different spots, and I just love the dude. And I've never announced your fight, but we interviewed last time after you had your win. About that crazy viral video and everything else, the big knockout. But I don't think I spoke to you after the Jim Allers fight. I think you were on my list and we never got to talk. So that was a tough fight, and you guys went to war, decision fight. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect it to go that way. I expected one of you to get knocked the fuck out. It was kind of bizarre that it went to decision.
It wasn't from lack of trying, man.
Oh, I know. I saw it. But give us your quick take on that whole fight and what you learned about yourself as an athlete. And we'll try to go through a couple of your phone don't die. Hopefully somebody brings you a charger so you can plug in.
Well, one of the things I learned about that fight, man, was it wasn't so much what I learned, but it was what everybody else learned about me. I've said before, and I'll say it again, there's nobody in this game that's got a bigger heart than I do. And I just went toe-to-toe with arguably the best guy in the bare knuckle division right now in 55, 65, 45 divisions. And I proved that not even he could knock me out. you know, and I let the world know right then and there that, and it proved to myself, in a sense, that I belong on the main card, main event. I don't know what's up with me not being co-main event on this card, but it is what it is. But I proved that I've deserved that spot, win or lose. I'm not some nobody. I'm not some just dude that they picked up from MMA last minute. I've made a name for myself in this sport, and I'm going to continue to grow and make a name for myself in this sport.
Yeah, and I got to say what you just said is probably true. A lot of people, I mean, because you're not a household name, but most of the guys in bare knuckle aren't household, because as it starts to evolve, Jim Allers had a UFC track record, so people know him from the UFC. Artem Lobov, of course, Jason Knight, a few of the other big names they brought in, and then there's guys like you who didn't have the UFC behind them and didn't, do all that other stuff, and they've really focused on this and are making their way and making a name for themselves. So as bare knuckle continues to grow, people are gonna be like, man, I remember when Caleb Harris started this motherfucking thing, and now he's 13-2, and he's won a title, and he's lost a title, and then he won another time. I mean, that's the guy you're going to turn into, because you have the right personality. You have definitely proven that you are one tough hombre up there, man. You're a hard out. You might not you may not win every fight. I don't think anybody wins every fight. There's a few guys that are special that win every fight, go undefeated, like in MMA, like Khabib, or John Jones, or, but that's not everybody. So the most part, wins and losses are part of this. But I do believe that you're going to be a superstar. Like I said, look, you got the good look, you got the fat fucking the lid on, and your personality is right. You handled that viral video really well when you had that huge knockout. People were like, and I remember you were a little shocked at it, but you've grown from that. You've matured, and then you had this war with Allers. So now, when you're fighting a guy that Allers beat in 48 seconds or 50 seconds or something like that, first round. So do you feel pressure that you have to go out there and finish at the same kind of a rate that Allers did against the same to really show that you're there? Because if you go to a war with Brito, right, people are going to say, well, you went to a decision with Allers knocked out this guy. You know how people try to do MMA math or bare knuckle math, and well, Jim knocked him out in 48 seconds, and if Reinhardt beat him and he took 10 minutes, then they discount your victory, and so do you think about stuff like that? Is it important to you, or just getting the win anyway, anyhow?
The prideful side of me, man, says yeah. I do think about that. But at the same time, and I just hit 5%. Okay. At the same time, though, to take away my win, if me and Elvin do go to decision, because Jim finished him in less than one round,
right,
would also take away from the fact that Elvin has grown as a fighter. No fighter stays the same, or shouldn't stay the same from each fight, especially a loss. I've learned a lot about my style of fighting and how I need to change things from my loss with Jim Allers. I don't nearly learn as much when I win, because what I'm already running works. But it's when you get proved that what you're running doesn't work. So I'm not expecting the same Elvin that came out to fight Luis Palomino.
And they went to a decision. That was a fucking hell of a fight too.
And that's kind of my thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather it be done in one round, but sure. Elvin's a tough dude. Elvin's fast, so I'm not expecting it to be finished quickly. I'm not expecting it to go to the decision either.
And your answer was right. Because saying that if you go to the decision with him, or if it takes you longer to finish him, that people don't give credit to the fighter in a loss for the evolution of their game. And if Elvin goes the distance with you, that's evolution for him, and it's evolution for you, whoever wins, because you guys continue to grow and learn about yourselves. That's why I love you, dude. You have the right answer. You know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing, and then you get into the ring and you perform. The best thing about this, Elvin touched on it, and I always touch on it, and David Feldman, drove it into my head when I first met him. This is the purest form of fighting. It's more pure than boxing. It's more pure than MMA. This is it, a little clinch action, but just knuckles to faces, or knuckles to ribs, and really knuckles to faces, because that's usually what gets the job done faster. And we all have a bloodlust about us that we want to see the big knockout. We want to see blood going, when in the replay when we see the draw going, blood spewing, and we can almost guarantee that a fight that you're in is going to have a bunch of that. Even if it doesn't finish, it's going to have blood. It's going to have guts. It's going to have action. And at the end of it, win or lose, it's going to have that, what you just did right there, that Lionheart smile, because you're happy to be doing something you love. When they came to you about this fight, and they said, "Hey, we want you to fight Elvin," were you all ready to go?
Well, Elvin was actually the third.
You were supposed to fight Julian. Weren't you supposed to fight Julian Lane?
No. We had talked months ago about trying to set up a fight.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. I want to say hello from the president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. He just popped in. He said, "What's up, gentlemen?"
What's up, boss? Get ready to sign me another bonus check.
You heard that, boss man? He wants a bonus check. So anyway, continue on with your answer. I'm sorry to interrupt. I had to show respect to the man who made this all possible in the first place.
No, so me and Julian tried to get something going back when this COVID stuff first started, just mainly to give something for somebody, but I think he's wanting to fight at a little heavier weight. I don't think he's wanting to cut weight much anymore. I was supposed to fight Tom, but managements weren't able to come to an agreement for whatever reason. And then they picked me up about a week ago, another guy that was going to make his debut just to try to get me a fight. And he got injured. But the whole time they're like, "We're looking for somebody else." And I was like, okay, well, I messaged Elvin and I was like, "Hey man, like, who are you fighting?" Because I figured, Elvin would have been the first person I would have matched me up against if I was the matchmaker. And he's like, "Nobody. Looks like I'm having to wait till August." And I was like, well, they got me, fighting this guy. And not long after that, my second opponent that I had just signed the contract for got injured. So he immediately gets the call, and we signed contracts 3 days ago with Elvin.
I'm glad, if things work out the way they're supposed to, I guess, at the end of the day, you can't control this, that, and the other thing. You can only control so much what you do in life and getting yourself ready for a fight. But I'm glad that there's a fight for you, man, because I know you've been waiting, especially after coming off a loss, the hunger really reemerges in a fighter. And they're like, "God damn it, I don't care who it is. Give me somebody. I'll fight fucking a Peter Sim. I'll fight a fucking Peter all in the middle of a ring if I have to. I just need a fight." So I already know, man, that you're just ready to go. And I see it in your face, man. After you had that, the big knockout, and you had the viral video and everything, and you were so happy. You were just smiling. You're just like enjoying that whole moment. And the people still come to you and talk about that video, go, "Dude, man, that fucking was awesome."
Yeah, it's like I told a teammate tonight, I'm ready to put that video behind me and give somebody something new to talk about.
Oh shit. Wow, another big video like that, dude. That's how you build star power, and that's how you collect them checks, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I watched that video like 5 times today too before we even came on the show. I was like, because it was such a brutal knockout. Now, if we lost him, kids, it's because his phone died. He told me before, so we might not see him to come back for the rest of the night. But that's okay, because in his stead, as Lionheart steps out, a special unannounced guest joining us tonight on the show, the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship president, the one and only Mr. David, the married man Feldman. Because he got married a little while back, and I haven't really spoke to you then, so congratulations on that, dude. I know you've been down that road before, but I saw your wedding pictures and everything, and you just look so happy, man. So congratulations on that.
Nah, thanks so much, Chris, man. Thanks for having me tonight. Caleb is great. We're looking for really big things from him. I think he can be a superstar. We have some of our talent guys working with him. So I think we have a great comeback fight here.
Yeah, it's something he's wanted, and you're putting him in there with a tough kid in ELVIN BRITO. I mean, while his record doesn't say that, he wins all the time, when you're in a fight with ELVIN BRITO, you're in a fight, and I don't know how much of the show you were watching, but we were talking about when ELVIN fought Jim, and he was like, he goes, it sucked, I lost, but he goes, it was the easiest money I ever fucking made in my life, 48 seconds or whatever it was. He goes, I got a nice paycheck, and I wasn't hurt, so that's the attitude you want from a fighter, right? You want a guy that says, all right, so I lost, put me in there again, and I'll fucking go out there and put on a show.
No, I mean the thing with ELVIN is he'll fight anyone, anytime, and he's very, he understands the problems that are going on right now, and he worked with us, so we're glad to have a guy like that on board that'll fight anyone, anytime we ask, and he doesn't really stick us up, so he's a really good dude, and he's tough, man. I mean, he's so tough. Did you see them body shots he was taking from Luis Palomino and just kept coming back? So, great to have that fight. That's a great test for Caleb Stewart if he gets past that. I mean, for Caleb Harris, if he gets past that that test, then obviously, he's really, really growing in this sport. More than a lot of people thought he would this fast, and it's going to be a good test for him.
Yeah. Now, when you announced the main event for this card, Palomino versus Allers, I got a fight boner. I'm not even going to lie, because I know both of these guys for a long time. We all see what Jim's done since he's, arrived at Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. And then you look at the career of Palomino. He fought ELVIN. They went to a decision, but the fights and the wars he had with Justin Gaethje at WSOF, and he's not a guy that gets knocked out, and he can go out there and dish just as much as he can give. I know you were supposed to have a tournament for the lightweights, for the 155ers, but COVID came and fucked up everybody's world.
That's this is your and they say you got to pivot and adjust. We pivoted, we adjusted, and I think we're giving the fans one hell of a fight. Probably a fight that probably would have ended up in the finals anyway. So, that's what we're going to do for the championship. It's going to be a tremendous fight. And two guys, man, that just won it, man. I mean, they don't take a backward step. Palomino's been in there with everyone. Obviously, big time in the news this week is Masvidal stepping up to fight Usman.
Yep.
And he holds the victory over Masvidal. So that's, sensational for him.
Yeah. And this announcement, like I said, you're coming back to your first event back. You're in Oxford, Mississippi. This originally you were going to do it in Florida, which now that you have these two Florida guys at the main event, God, I'm crying that you're not in Florida. But this main event is, I couldn't think of a better way to come back to, presenting a show for the fans than this huge main event, the 155 inaugural title, with a guy who's been just killing people in Allers. And again, the resume of Palomino, you win. Before this even fight happened, you won. You're really phenomenal. I mean, I know you're a promoter and I know you're a fight fan. Take the promoter hat off for a minute, and just as a fight fan yourself, do you salivate when you get a matchup like this, when you get to see this?
I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of this sport. I'm a fan of what these guys are doing. So yeah, man, this was just a tremendous fight to make. I mean, no one can really lose in this fight. I mean, we talked about it in our room when we're going over different ideas. Look, if Palomino loses a close fight, we bring him back, we build him. If Allers loses a close fight, we bring him back, we build him. If one of them gets knocked dead, then we bring him back, we build him, because these guys prove that they can fight, and they've been in there with everybody, and it's tremendous to have these guys on. But we have another fight on the card. I know you just talked about Caleb Harris versus ELVIN BRITO, but also both of our men, Dean Toole, put his guy on our show. Dylan Kleckler, he'll be fighting Frank Tate. That's going to be an unbelievable heavyweight war in bare knuckles. So we're really, really excited about that fight as well.
It's funny. You cut me off at the pass, because I was coming in with that one next, because I know both these guys, they both fought with us on Island Fights, and they're both big, heavy-handed killers. They want to go out for their knockout in MMA. So now you're taking the gloves off these dudes. I'm almost afraid to be in the building for that one.
It's going to be tremendous. And then we have a women's fight, Callie Cutler. She's from Michigan, versus Kawali Wallace is from Hawaii, and we're going to sign her. We're signing Kelly Cutler. It's going to be another great women's fight, and then we have a lot of undercard fights from some of the local fighters in the Mississippi area. It's just going to be a tremendous night to bring back, and it's all free. It's all going to be free. We're going to be starting to market it soon on our BKTV app, so it'll be free on the app, so everybody can watch it free, and hopefully we can gain a lot more bare knuckle fans from this one.
Yeah. Now you said it's free on the app. Is this going to be like a free event even on TV, or is it just exclusively on the app?
Yeah, we're not doing TV. We're just going to do all of our different digital platforms that we have. It's going to Fight TV, BKTV, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, YouTube, all of our platforms. This is one we just want to get back to the fans. We want to get a lot of people tuning in and watching this and gaining some more fan base. So, look, everybody's been through a tough time, and we could do a pay-per-view here and grab a lot of money. We think we probably do pretty good on this one, but it's something I think it's a great time for us to gain more fans right now.
And, speaking of the pay-per-view, you've put on some pretty solid shows, some really solid main events that, being live in the arena for some of them that I was at and then watching some of them on pay-per-view, excellent show, production, everything. Have your pay-per-view numbers met your expectations or possibly exceeded them since you started?
The only one that didn't was the first one, because we didn't know what to expect going into it, but we were trending #1 on Twitter, and everybody in the world was talking about it. So we were like, wow, man, we did like 500,000 buys. But everybody stole the stream. They stole the fight, and it was one of them things. But everybody watched it. Just didn't get paid for it. But it was still good. It was great, and all the rest of them are meeting or exceeding our expectations. And that's why we thought it was time to develop our own app and really control some things our way. We also have a partnership deal coming up here, which I'm just waiting to sign on the dotted line with a very big sports platform that we're going to be doing some great bare knuckle events on. It's going to take this thing mainstream.
That's incredible, dude. You've been even the pandemic time, you've been busy making things happen behind the scenes. So when you are able to come back full strength, we're going to get blown away, is what you're telling me, basically.
Absolutely. We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to bring some more people to the team. We've been talking to Dean a lot. Want to get him a little more involved with helping us out. So we're assembling really just an unbelievable team. I mean, once we announce everybody that's on our team now, it's a really, really solid team that we think is going to take this thing to the next level.
I'm hoping I'm in those announcements somewhere because, I've told you since I met you, I want to work at Bare Knuckle.
We have, you actually came up in our conversation today, so you'll be reached out to very shortly.
Well, fucking A, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I think I just got another fight boner just like that, man. Fucking,
man, look, man, we have so many exciting things in 2021, barring COVID taking anything away from us. We would be doing a minimum of 24 shows.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we're taking this thing everywhere. I mean, we actually have a show in October in Thailand. We're doing a show in England. We're doing shows all over the world. We're going everywhere with this thing. We're just taking it. We have one shot at this to make it right, and we're just going. We had a great team meetings, and we all said, look, why are we, pussyfooting around with this thing and we're doing great shows, don't get me wrong, but we had this vision and this plan where we want to take it. And I said, let's just take it. Let's go. Let's hit the gas pedal and go. And, everybody on the team was like, let's do it, man. It's now or never. So we're going for it. And we'll know by the end of 2021, we'll know if we have a thing or we don't.
Well, I'm glad I got a new passport recently. So just in case, I get hired on and we got to go travel, man, I'm ready to roll. Back to the pay-per-view thing. I just want to ask you one question. Can you tell, and you don't have to tell us the numbers of how many it was if you don't want to, because that's business, personal, whatever. You don't have to tell us the amount of money, but can you tell us which show did the most for you? Which show hit the most numbers?
Absolutely. It was Paulie Malignaggi versus Artem Lobov. Yeah.
That was a fun night, fun fight.
It was great. It was a great night. It was a great fight. It was just great atmosphere, a great week, having everybody around. It was phenomenal for the sport to cross over into boxing. And now we have a lot of different things we're going to be doing. I mean, people are going to be amazed at some of the different things we're going to do here. We think we have a really good recipe for success now, and we can't wait to get cooking.
Yeah, and during this downtime, you signed some guys. One particular guy that I was really excited about the signing was Thiago Alves. So how quickly are we going to see him on a card? I know you. I don't. He's not on this one, right?
He was scheduled on this one initially when it was in Florida, but for Thiago and Hector and these guys, Shannon Briggs, the guys we want to put on this monster card, we need to have a crowd for that one. And with that being said, we rescheduled that one for September, and we're hoping that COVID cooperates with us to at least 50% capacity, and then we can do something great. So that's when we're looking for that to come. And then we have some more announcements coming on. I know we made an announcement a while ago about the Iranian Hulk coming over and fighting for us, and just started communication with him again. So he'll be over here by the end of the year.
That's crazy.
Got a lot of things going on, man. A lot of big names that people are going to be really surprised. And we're just going to start dropping these announcements here in the next couple of weeks as we get everything set. It's just crazy right now, as as we all know, with COVID. You might have to pivot every day now. You don't know. One thing's going. Even today we heard about the place we're at now in Oxford, that the city of Oxford just pulled back a lot of regulations. So, we're going to do the fight, though. We're doing the fight, but we were allowed 50% capacity, then 25% capacity. So, we'll see where it's at, but we'll abide by any guideline for the safety of the fighters and the fans and everything that we have to do. And, just get another show under our belt right now. That's the most important thing.
Well, make sure you save a seat for me and Dean Toole, because we're going to do our weigh-ins, then we're going to come to Oxford, watch our show, and then we got to fly back to Pensacola to do our show the next day. So Dean said he's ready to go. If you see on the screen, your homie Kevin Smith said you are the hardest working man in the fight game, and he's proud to be a part of your dream.
He's my man. He's a good dude, man. He's a really solid dude.
Yeah, Jacob Kilburn, one of our fighters that went to the UFC, he says Thiago Alves still fighting. We just answered that one. He is, but it'll be at a later date. Joshua Egley, he's a guy that follows my show all the way from Australia. He wants to know if you're coming to the land down under, mate.
100%. Actually, we just signed a deal with a major sports platform over there, so we're definitely going to be moving over to Australia. Obviously, again, as soon as this madness goes away, we have a lot of big plans internationally.
One of your other superstar staff members, a guy that gets a lot of work done for you, Nate Shook, just said, hashtag big things are coming, man. Don't you love when your guys are out there pushing it, and they're just as excited for your dream as you are for your dream?
Because I'll tell you, you know what it is? I think it's like lead by example, and don't want to pat myself on the back, but you just said about hard work, and it's about, they see that I'm not just sitting here and pointing fingers and going, oh, let's try to get this done. Like, they see me, I'm working the phones all day, every day, and they know how hard and how passionate that I am about it, and the whole team is. And we really have a great team. We have a team like, a team where you have a lot of teams where, you got that one guy where people are like, screw him, or we don't want to. Everybody is on each other's team on this team. And that's why I think it's moving so fast. And Chris, man, we were moving fast. Like, we were a freight train and we got hit by COVID. So, had to pump the brakes, but it really was a blessing in disguise for us, because it got us to really refocus on who we wanted to be and what we wanted to be. And now we know exactly who and what we want to be. And we're going to just, people are going to be surprised. That's all I'm going to say is we got a lot of things coming, man. A lot of things, a lot of great fighters, and a lot of great team members to add.
My buddy Josh, again, the kid from Australia, just said woo-hoo. He likes that. Chris Levesque, he's a fight fan from all over, boxing, bare knuckle, fight, MMA. He said, what's up, Mr. David Feldman? What's up with Alex Nicholson? He wants you to sign Alex Nicholson to the promotion.
Yeah, we're definitely talking to him. Again, the problem is I just don't want to. I don't want to do the wrong thing to these guys and sign them and if they can get a fight somewhere else right now, let them get a fight. I just don't want to sign them and hold them up. I was there before, and I don't want I want people to make money. And if they can't make money with me right now while this is going on, and they can get an opportunity somewhere else, get that. But when we're ready to go, rest assured, we're definitely looking at him.
Yep. Luis Palomino, the baboon, he's going to be your main event. He just commented, he goes, can it be fight night already? I was ready last month. And then he followed that up with, he goes, baboon's fangs are craving blood. He is so ready to go.
I really like him, like, as a person. I got to know Luis pretty good, man. Him and his girlfriend always inviting me over. Just a nice guy. But forget a nice guy, dude. That dude can fight, man. That dude can fight. I expect really big things from Luis. I think, after this fight, we're going to do a lot of great things to build him. I think he can be a star, man. I really do, and he's a good dude.
Yep. He was our lightweight champion, the inaugural lightweight champion at the XFC years ago. And then, of course, he went on to World Series of Fighting and over to AKB over in Russia and stuff. But those 2 wars he had with Justin Gaethje in particular, those are 2 of the greatest MMA fights I've ever seen. That guy, like, ever since I met him, you know, he just always fights. He comes to put on a show, and you match him with Allers, and you just fireworks. Also on the screen, Howie Atherton says he needs his BKFC fix. Debbie Gamble, our #1 fan of anything combat sport related in Florida, she says, "Go, David. She's got the heart and the fist for you right there."
She's awesome. She's awesome, Debbie.
She is. Palomino's got the prayer hands up. Now, the one other thing I wanted to ask you about during this off time, I don't know, maybe a month ago or something, the Mike Tyson story started to get some legs and everything. Was there really a legitimate offer to get Mike Tyson to come and do bare knuckle fighting? Because even though he's a little older, I think he would kill somebody, like kind of like we think about Anthony Johnson. If he ever goes bare knuckle, somebody's going to die. That's what I feel about Tyson, because he's still the last thing to go is the power. So,
yeah, no, absolutely, no. We had absolutely, it was a 100% legitimate deal. It was a deal that, you know, got turned down. Then we went back to the table, and that second offer didn't get turned down yet. But I don't even know if Mike's really going to fight again. You know, I think it was a lot of hype, and maybe he is. And if he is, you're exactly said it right. Who knows who he might, you know, what he might do, and especially with no gloves on, you know. But take that aside, it was really, for me, being in fighting my whole life, a dream come true to even be able to entertain an offer with Mike Tyson, one of the best ever. So, you know, it was awesome. But tune in next week, because next week we got the biggest offer we've ever made.
All right, so we'll see that. Derek Minner, a guy who fights in the UFC, he's a real cool cat. He came on my show about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, after getting his UFC debut win in the hospital 2 hours after his wife gave birth to their daughter, and he brought the baby on the show and sang happy birthday to her. It was so dope. But he says Dakota Cochran is the biggest star of BKFC. Changed my mind. He thinks he deserves Hector after Melvin.
Well, we'll see. I mean, let him get through. I think we have a completely rededicated and reborn Melvin. So we'll see. I mean, you know, he said that in the past, but he told me that he's training harder than he's ever trained. So, you know, we'll see. Look, if he gets past Melvin, certainly he deserves a big fight. Great dude, great fighter, and he just keeps upsetting everybody. So Dakota Cochran really can't fight, man. But you know, we're gonna see what we can do with him after this fight as well, as far as building him into a star. We got a lot of guys that we can really build. Again, we had to pump the brakes, but you know, we're back with the foot on the gas pedal, and hopefully things can keep rolling.
So, you know, this was an unscheduled interview. David was watching the show when I was talking with Caleb, and he just said, "What's up?" So I sent him a link to jump in with us. So, you know, sometimes that happens. So I'm going to ask you, since you said you got a lot of big news coming up, is there something you could drop here that's not the biggest, but, you know, maybe give us a little cage side exclusive, something special that we can know about? And if there isn't, I understand. But if there is,
you know, there's not much I can announce, you know, because a lot of it's unknown. But I mean, I did tell you we are going to be doing a show here in Thailand. I mean, nobody knew that. I just dropped that on your show.
All right, that's cool.
We are launching our own app. Our own app is going to be called Bare Knuckle TV, BKTV, and it's not only going to be Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, but there's other bare knuckle promotions from around the world that we're going to put underneath the banner, and you'll be able to watch a lot of live bare knuckle fighting and libraries of different companies from around the world. So it's going to be a good thing, and it's going to be very, very affordable. It's only going to be $3.99 a month. So
That's
it's
awesome.
a really good thing for I think we have a really great business model on what we want to do.
All right. So, and I like that. So since you were talking about, you know, you just dropped, so guys, you did just drop some awesome information about the app opening up, $3.99. It's cheap. It's easy. More than just BKFC fights will be on there. So that poses the question, will you cross promote with, you know, a BKFC champion, say, versus one of the other promotions champions that you're showing under your banner? Oh, did he freeze up? He froze up. BKTV sounds awesome. BKTV.
Yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have like I said, we're on plan, yeah, we can absolutely do something like that.
Well, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you taking time jumping in unscheduled. Your personal life, like I said, you recently got married, and if my memory serves me correct,
I mean, everybody can download it. If you go to the App Store, it's Bare Knuckle TV.
okay,
Bare Knuckle TV, they can download the app
on
and
Apple
watch all our
and
library
Google,
right now.
Android and Apple. Oh, we're having a little technical difficulty. I don't know if he caught that.
As
All right, hold on a second.
yeah,
All right. I don't know how much you're hearing me
Yep,
because your
yep.
signal, I guess, is fading a little. But I was alluding to your personal life. You'd recently got
Bare
married.
Knuckle
Did I
TV.
see somewhere where you're going to be a granddad now too? Is your son having a baby? Let me bring him out. Pop him back
Yep.
in. Let's see.
Bare.
I don't know what happened to his video and audio, kids. We're trying to make it work. So we lost him. Let's see if we can get him to click back in. Let me send him a message real quick. La, 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 la. Anyway, either we'll get him back here or we won't. I just sent a message to him to click back in if he wants, because sometimes the internet pops out. Godbeer is ready for the States, and so is Tyler Goodjohn. There's no doubt about it. BKTV, as Mr. Feldman was saying, even though he broke up there toward the end of the show, the BKTV app is going to be available. I believe it's on Apple and the Google Play Store for those of us that are not Apple users. So $3.99 a month. He said he will cross promote with some of the other shows that are going to be featured on his BKTV app, which he just announced here on the show, right? He also announced here exclusively that they're doing a show in Thailand in October. He said there's going to be some new people that are part of the team. He said my name came up, so I'm pretty excited. Whatever capacity they want me in, I'm ready, man. I love bare knuckle fighting. Shout out to Dean Toole, who we also said is going to get more involved. He's going to bring Dean in as part of the team as well. Dean has brought a lot of fighters to bare knuckle, and I didn't get to ask him about Chase Sherman fighting in the UFC, but he said, when his guys right now where they can't make money with him, he wants them to be able to survive and eat and make money. So he allowed Chase to go back to the UFC. And I'm sure Chase will be back to defend his bare knuckle stuff. I'm sure that was worked out with his management company and the UFC and bare knuckle. But what a cool show tonight, man. We had great guests on. First, I'd like to thank ELVIN, El Bandito Brito, joining us on the show. He's taking on my second guest, who I'd like to thank for coming in. It was only for 10 or 15 minutes, but he messaged me right before, said his phone was going to die. They're both excited about fighting each other, Caleb Lionard Harris. And then, of course, unannounced, the BKFC president was watching the interviews, and boom, we got a little conversation with David Feldman, the president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, the man whose dream we all get to enjoy whenever they put on a card. And for that, we should all be grateful and say thank you, Mr. Feldman. So Wednesday night on the show, I'm going to be talking with Sherrard Blackledge, Island Fights veteran, fought with us on Fight Pass. He's got a fight coming up July 30th in Arizona, I believe. Saturday, we are going to do a preview show. I'm going to have Justin James join us. I'm going to reach out to Elon Cruz and to Jamal Hill, and maybe my buddy Josh Furs, and have them come on. We're going to do a preview show for UFC 251, Masvidal versus Usman, or should I say Usman versus Masvidal in defense of, well, that's yeah. Hold on a second, guys. Caleb Harris, whose phone dropped out, we'll bring him right back on. So we'll bring him right back on. Fuck yeah, dude, because we didn't get to finish chat with him. His phone died. He told me his phone was going to die. But so Wednesday, Sherrard Blackledge. Thursday and Friday, I'll be busy DJing. And yeah, I agree with you. Nobody does bare knuckle better than BKFC. 100%. I agree with you 1,000%, dude. Saturday, like I said, we'll be doing a UFC 251 preview show. Earlier today, it was also announced that Pedro Munoz is out of his fight against Frankie Edgar July 15th on Fight Island. He tested positive for COVID. Therefore, it eliminates him from being able to compete. So, that sucks. Hopefully they'll find an opponent for Frankie. They did have a couple of guys offer to step up. Cody Stamen and Jimmy Rivera both offered their services. Hopefully one of them is going to get the fight. Keep Frankie on the card, because there's nobody else to move over there. So unless they're going to try to find somebody on that side of the world, which could happen as well, being, traveling and logistics and everything, it might be easier to pull a fighter from that, corner of the world to come over and fight than trying to get somebody COVID tested and everything over here and all that other shit, So we're going to bring him back right now, minus the hat, but he's got cool hair, so it doesn't fucking matter. Welcome back, Caleb Lionheart Harris. He was on with us before. His phone died. He told me he was at the gym. He had just left the gym. He didn't have a charger, so shit happens. No biggie. We got him back, and we I don't know. I guess since your phone died, we had David Feldman jump in right when you jumped off, like it was unannounced. So we talked about your fight. He's really excited. He said, and you go back and watch the interview. But he said you're a guy that he wants to build. He wants to fucking do everything to help you become a superstar because he knows that you can be and you will be. So high praise from the president, man. How's that make you feel?
Man, it makes me feel really good. I started off and was and some days still feel like just a kid from a little small town of Lake Mississippi, and sometimes I wonder, like, am I going anywhere with this? Like, I mean, you get hit with them days, and I know a lot of fighters, when I act all tough and act like they don't question that, or that they don't. And if it's true for some of them, great. But man, there's been days before where I've wondered if this was even what I wanted anymore. And like, those are the scary days, because there's a ton of things in the world telling you, nah, man, just be content. And usually something happens within that little time period that lights the fire back up in me and reminds me of why I started this almost 20 years ago. And I just keep going. On those bad days, I just bite down on my mouthpiece and dig a little deeper.
That's all you can do, man, right? You just go out there and do what you know how to do, and the rest should take care of itself at that point,
Yeah. That's like, I've not told anybody else, but, during all this Corona stuff, I think the scariest thing had nothing to do with the virus. The gym shut down. I was doing my best to stay in shape and train with teammates when I could, but for the most part, I got complacent. Like I did, I mean, I wouldn't say complacent as in I wasn't training. I mean, I was still working out and I was still training, but man, I was working 3 days a week. I was home when I got home from work at 3:00 in the afternoon, man. I'd go work out for an hour, and then I'd go chill out in the house. And for the first time ever in my life, I saw what it was like to be on the other side of the fence and it wasn't bad. And like, I mean, that's the scary thing. A lot of fighters be like, I'm always hungry, I'm always hungry. Bro, I'm telling you, like, if most of my life has been this, like from the time I was 7 years old, I've not had a day without martial arts, period. So for 20 years, this has been my life nonstop, no ifs, ands, or buts. And to be able to come home after work and just chill, have a few drinks with some buddies and just chill out was nice. But at the end of the day, during that time, and I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but at those times, like when I'd go to bed at night, there are a lot of thoughts that usually fighting keeps out of my head would start creeping back in. I'd start thinking about things that I hadn't thought about in a while. So the best thing for me that could have happened was this fight with Elvin. Like, it gave me a purpose again in my life to where and like I said, there's always one day during that time period. And like today just happened to be that day. I don't know what changed or what happened after the 4th, but ever since Saturday night, man, like I just had this fire burning under my feet. Like I can't stop moving. I can't stop shadow boxing, twitching. I mean, I got folks at work looking at me like I'm insane, just bouncing around. I'm just ready to go, man. Like,
well, you got to be a little insane to go in there and do bare knuckle fighting. So when they look at you like that, it's somewhat deserved because what you're doing, while you love it and we love watching it, it's a little crazy. It's not your normal career path, So when your people at your normal world look at you, they're, it's a little crazy, but it's all right, man. And the fact that you took a little time and you got a local place and you took a break, a little bit of a break from the hard grind. I think that was good for you. I think you have to do that at some point. Look at Henry Cejudo. He just retired from MMA. Now he'll come back. He'll probably fight Alexander Volkanovski if he holds on to the belt sometime, next year. But he left for 2 reasons. One, because he wanted more money. They weren't going to give him any more. But 2, man, since he was a kid, all he did was train and grind. He never had a girlfriend. He never had a life. Now he's got all this fucking money, He went through, he earned it, he got an Olympic gold medal. He's got 2 UFC championships, he did everything he could to elevate his life and his finances, and he's set. Now he's taking a break. He's going to go back, he wants more money, and he'll get more money when he comes back, but he's got a girlfriend, he's getting some ass now, he's doing some shit that he never did. Good for him, man. But he's a fighter at heart, so we know he's coming back.
Oh yeah.
You're not
I don't
believe him yet, but you keep doing what you're doing, your money's going to come, and David Feldman is not a guy who's shy about paying. If you're bringing the money, he's giving the money. So
that's why I hate, man, that they're finally coming back to Mississippi, and Oxford's not like my hometown. I mean, Biloxi's more like my hometown than Oxford is, but I hate that all this COVID stuff has stopped because, like, the second they announced that fights were coming back to Mississippi, I wasn't even confirmed to be on a card yet because I had told them late July, early August is when I would be ready. And, things happened. It got moved around. So, I mean, obviously this fight was meant to happen for me. But I had people out of the woodworks that we're always just content with buying pay-per-view messing me, hey man, let me know when you get tickets. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm on the cards yet. Like, I figure I am, but like I hadn't talked to Nate. I hadn't talked to David. I didn't know anything about the card until I heard from rumors from 2 other people that they were coming to Mississippi before I finally just messaged Nate and I was like, hey bro, is this true or what? Like,
right.
If it is, I want in. But so I mean, I could have easily, especially with it being a college town, that's where the Ole Miss Rebels are from. I mean, I could have easily had that place packed out, but
oh yeah, no doubt.
Thanks to COVID-19, 20, whatever it is, I mean, it's probably going to be I know they're going to take a hurting on this show, and I'm grateful for them still putting this show on because it's definitely helping the fighters out. It's, like I said, it's giving me a purpose, it's giving Elvin a reason to stay training. It's giving a lot of potential up and coming fighters an opportunity to debut, and not have to worry about flying to Miami or somewhere else.
Yep. I mean, big heavyweight fight. David mentioned. It's funny. I was getting ready to ask him about it, and then he dropped it on me. He's like, Dylan Kleckler, huge heavyweight from Island Fights, taking on Frank Tate, another huge Island Fight veteran heavyweight. These guys come to knock people out, and they do.
I think I've heard of Frank Tate. I think I've seen him
gloves
on
coming
some Island Fight.
These guys, with the gloves coming off of both these guys, holy fucking shit, man! It's like crazy, And since you didn't see it, I'm guessing because you were going home from the gym and getting all set home. David announced there's going to be a card. Dropped an exclusive info here. He's going to be a card in Thailand in October. He also announced that he's going to be hiring some new people, and my name came up in a conversation. Somebody's going to be reaching out to me, so I might be working for Bare Knuckle in some capacity.
Awesome, man.
Awesome. I've told him from jump I want to work there. So hopefully that comes through. He told everybody about the BKFC app. It's going to have not just be bare knuckle fighting championship fights, but other bare knuckle fighting promotions from around the world.
Oh, nice.
Be featured on their app. The app's going to cost like $3.99 a month, I think, to have full access to all the fights. He also said that they will definitely cross promote with other BK bare knuckle fighting companies. So, you know, a BKFC.
Well, if that's the case, Smudger Smith already knows that me and him have been wanting to go at each other.
Yep. So there's a lot of stuff. And he says he's got some big news next week. He's going to drop the biggest offer to any fighter to join bare knuckle is going to be dropped next week. I can't wait to see who he's trying to bring in, you know, to add star power to the company. He's crazy, but he's crazy in a good way. You know, he has a vision, he has a dream, and he's doing what he has to do to make it come true. Now, for a guy like you, who's, you know, again, you're building your star, you know, and he, you know, I'm sure, you know, that when he brings in a big name, you know, that the big name probably gets more money than some of the younger guys that are building their name. But, you know, I look at both sides. If I was you, I'd be like, oh man, fucking, I've been here doing this, you know, I want some more money, blah, blah. But I would also understand the other side, that bringing in that big name puts more eyes on the show, puts more money in the pockets, allows me to eventually get paid.
Oh, so, I get it. I met the happy medium. They signed Thiago Alves, and I plainly stated and tagged David Feldman in it when I posted on Facebook. I would gladly be the one to welcome him to the Square Head Circle.
Hell yeah.
But I'm going to get paid if I'm going to fight that man.
That's right, because he brings it. He'd be a big money fight, and people are excited to see it. So, you know, maybe maybe you go out there and take this win from Elvin, you know, if that's what the cards have in store, and you get the win and you do it in an exciting knockout fashion, you know, maybe the next show in Florida, you know, you're healthy. Thiago's healthy. Welcome to the BKFC, Mr. Thiago Alves. Meet Kaleb Harris. By the way, look at this video of what Kaleb does to people. Hey, just so you know. So yeah, you know, but this is how you get it, you know, and you know, you let David know, and David knows. Like I said, he mentioned you. And he said he's going to make you a star because you have all the qualities he looks for. So they know you're there, and they know you're chomping, and they know you're ready. So when you have the boss's attention and he's behind you, that's a good fucking thing. That means you're doing what you're supposed to do all the way up from top to bottom, you know, not just inside the ring, but outside, promoting it properly, not getting yourself in any trouble, and, you know, all that other stuff that some fighters doing, you know, whatever. So just keep being you, you know, and it will all come to you because you work hard, and you know, you're that guy that's going to make it happen, you know, and you're not going to wait for somebody else to make it happen for you. You're going to go out and make it happen for yourself.
Oh man, I told David from the get-go, I'll fight anybody. I'm not scared to fight anybody. My answer is always yes to a fight. Since then, I have had to understand the way the business works. I don't have a manager. I've honestly been the last couple of fights I've been managing myself. I have a team that I discuss things with. Even before the Elvin fight, as bad as I wanted the fight, I called one of my best friends, coaches, and mentors, you know, Dustin the Puma. He's always in my corner. And I called him. I was like, hey, man, what do you think about this fight? And he's just, even though he's my best friend, he's not going to just tell me, hey, man, yeah, let's take it. He's going to say, all right, let me go back and watch video. And he will. He'll go and he'll watch video. And then he'll call me and say, hey, I got a game plan for this guy. Let's take it. And so, you know, over the course of the last couple of fights, and going from, again, like I said, a nobody outside of my state MMA fighter to somebody that's getting talked to and on podcasts and getting offers to fight different people, it's like, okay, I got to understand that there's a business side of this as well, and I got to start playing it or I'm going to get used. And so, you know, like for this fight, there was supposed to be a certain price that I was supposed to go to if I lost a gym. And because of the credibility that I brought to the sport in my last couple of fights, I was able to renegotiate, and we worked something out that benefited both of us.
There you go.
So, you know, it's a learning sport, man. I'm not even 27 yet. So, you know, I've got plenty of time. I got a hard head, so I'm not worried about brain damage. So I got a long career, and it's going to be hell on the 165 division as long as I'm in there.
Well, that's awesome, man. And I like the way you're going about business. And, you know, if you need a manager, let me know. I'll help you out. But in seriousness, you know my boy Dean Toole from Island Fights. You know who he is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, reach out to Dean. Dean could put you in the direction with some people that might be able to help you. Actually, you know, real fight managers that really do this from a big company. You know, and at this point, you know, it might be something you should look into. You know, my best advice to give you when it comes to management is you need a professional manager. Your friends can't do it for you. You know, they don't understand the ins and outs of the contracts and everything. And, you know, it's that part, the legal part of it with the contracts and finances and how everything works, you know, and if pay-per-view numbers, you know, become an option, you know, and all that stuff, you have to have somebody to help you.
Right.
So look out for you. You got to pay him to do it. You know, that's part of the game. But as you continue to grow and prosper, that's going to be something important, you know. And there's a lot of good managers out there that handle, you know, MMA fighters. I don't know how many of the bigger companies have jumped over to the BKFC side, but it's definitely something to look into. And my boy Dean Toole would give you positive advice on, you know, how to make a selection. He cares about fighters. He really does. So, you know, he's not a fight manager, but he does have connections with all of them. So there's people out there, and he'd tell you, you know, and he'd tell you the truth, and you know, never steer you wrong, like I said. So and he's looks like he's part now going to be part of the BKFC family now as well, according to David. So they're making a move, making some changes, making some additions. And it's because of guys like you fighting and helping the organization grow. So if I get a job there, thanks for working hard so I can get there too, brother. I appreciate it.
No doubt, bro. No doubt.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate taking the time to jump in and then jump back. And you know, no big deal that your phone died before. You never have to apologize. You told me ahead of time. Shit happens. That's life. Sometimes it's better to leave people hanging when you're in the middle of a sentence. Be like, so anyway, I was going to do that. And then you just fade out, you know, and people go, what the fuck was he going to say? And I go, tune in next week for another episode of the Caleb Harris Show. You know? It's like a cliffhanger.
There you go.
But listen, man, good luck on your fight. You and Elvin are going to go to war. And, you know, my only hope is that you both come out under your own power. That's all I care about, man. You know, if I can, you know, you're both cool cats, man. You take the time to do my show, and that helped me elevate my show, my credibility. So I appreciate you guys. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
that's better than you paying me to be on the show, you know. So I actually had an amateur fighter offer me money to be on my show. I was like, dude, I can't take your money to be on my show. He goes, no, I need to build my brand. I'm going to pay all the podcasts to get on. I was like, dude, you're going to go broke before you ever make a paycheck. Dude.
That's not how you build.
It's not how you build, but sometimes you do. I mean, there are people do things like that, you know, pay for their appearance, you know, sometimes because they want to grow their thing, and they'll pay anybody who lets them get out there and get the platform. Brian Maxwell said, that's my boy, Caleb Harris. And that's it. If you guys got any questions, I'll give you 30 seconds to pop some questions up. Otherwise, I'm going to let Mr. Harris go. He just got done training. He probably wants to go take a shower and relax, eat some food, you know. And then, you know, he's probably got to go to work tomorrow and, you know, do all kinds of crazy shit. So, you know,
4:30 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
4:30. I get up. I go to work. Go to the gym for an hour in the morning before I go to work. So
that's dedication, brother. That's dedication, man. All right, nobody's popping any questions. So even if they do, I got to get you out here so you can get some sleep and rest and be healthy for your, you know, job and your fights, you know, coming up. Congratulations on getting this fight, man. I can't wait to see the next incarnation of Caleb Harris, because we're going to see something different in this next fight. I already know from what we've seen the first few times, what we've seen against Allard, and now we're going to see you evolve. And, you know, it's never a loss if you learn.
that's right.
You know, so with that being said, if you want to shout out any sponsor or anything, do it now. If you want to ask David Feldman for a raise, do it now.
I want to give a shout out to two very special sponsors that have picked me up on the last minute. Downrange Lifestyle. They are a veteran-owned company from over in Europe. They live the ethos of living every day like it's your last and pushing yourself to the limits. It's exactly how I live my life now. And then also Mary Jane's House of Glass. They've got the best glass work to help me with taking in my CBD products. Their CBD gummies are off the freaking chain. Nice. And last but not least, to anybody out there that may be dealing with depression or anxiety or suicidal thoughts, listen, you don't know me, but I've dealt with those evil thoughts. I've been in that dark tunnel, and somebody else was a shining light that led me out. if you need a shining light, I'm here. You know, don't give up. Don't sit down. Get up and keep walking, because that's the only way you're going to get out of the tunnel.
Man, what a great way to end your interview tonight, man. Thank you for that. You know, I understand. I've suffered with anxiety and depression for a long time, and you know, I've had those thoughts myself, you know, over the years. But you know, find somebody to talk to and just speak. You know, if you can't talk to your best friend, you know, speak to somebody that you know you casually know. You know, fucking find a stranger in a fucking Denny's and say, "Listen, man, I'm about to fucking shoot my brains out, man. Can I just dump some shit on you and talk?" You'd be surprised how many people would sit and listen to you. But we're always afraid to ask. We're always afraid to ask because we're embarrassed, because our pride gets in our way. And I'll never be afraid of that again. Of course, you know, I went and sought professional help for mine. And, you know, for a little while I had to take medication. I don't have to take medication. I haven't had it in a long time. I have a network and a plan. And I will never, ever, you know, I should, you know, people say never say never, but I will never, ever go that road again, because I've learned so much on how to avoid, but, you know, if I'm going down a path, I know how to stop myself. You know, there's 10 detours I could take before I get down to that end of the road shit. So, and I always find the right detour exactly when I need it, but I have to ask, I have to be willing and able to share honestly of myself and to others, or I will never get better.
That's right.
So I'm like you, if anybody ever needs to talk, you know, hit me up. You know, I'm all over this public place, man. I'll sit and listen, or I'll talk to you. I'll talk shit to you. I'll crack a joke, whatever it does, you know, needs to help. And you just heard this man right here. He's got a full-time job. He's a full-time fighter, and he still would have an ear for you, man. So you can look him up on Facebook, Caleb Harris or Caleb Lionheart Harris. Shoot him a DM if you ever need to shoot the shit with him. And, you know, he might not get you right away. He might be at work, you know, might be taking care of some business, but I know he'll get back to you because he's a man of his word. Great character, dude. You stay safe. Stay out of trouble. No more drinking beers with your buddies now. You're back in fight world. So, you know, after the fight.
It's been done.
But again, right, you took yourself a little break, bro. You deserved it after all the years of doing it, man. And, it, you know, like you said, it probably reignited a little fire in you because you stepped away from it. And then you go, I miss it so much. All right, now I'm back. So all these things that happen in life like that happen for a reason. So that was your reason. You needed to. And it was good thing was there was no fights going on anyway. So it's not like you were missing shit. So you couldn't have picked a better time to go a little fucking off the path. So you enjoy the rest of your night. You and your family stay safe. God bless, man. We're looking forward to it, guys. This is Caleb Lionheart Harris. He'll be fighting in Oxford, Mississippi, July 24th, taking on ELVIN Brito in a 165-pound contest. Both guys are coming off BKFC losses. Both guys need a win. Both guys want to win. And no matter who wins, man, we win because we're going to see one hell of a fucking fight. These guys both bring it every time. Thanks for joining us tonight, man, and thanks for coming back in. Like I said, even after your phone died, you got home and you came back on. You're aces, bro. And the message about anxiety and depression and helping people, my heart, man, right in there, right in the feeling, man.
Yes,
you stay safe. We'll talk soon, and I'm probably going to see you on the 24th in Oxford, and then you can join us on the private jet to go down to Pensacola because we got an event the next night down there.
Sounds good.
We're going to load up with Dean Tool and party. Have a great night. Man. Get some rest. Guys, that was Caleb Harris. Now, before we jump out of here, like I said, we are going to be doing a preview show on Saturday. Wednesday night, I'm going to be talking to my man Sherrard Blackledge about a fight coming up July 30th in Arizona, I believe. But then we are going to transport ourselves to Fight Island. Right there. You see it, kids? We're going to Fight Island on Saturday afternoon, and we're going to have a good time out there, right there on the beach in Abu Dhabi. Man, you see, there we are. Look, I'm right there in the octagon. We're going to go out there to Fight Island. We're going to talk with Justin James, newly signed UFC fighter. Had a big win in his debut. I'm also going to try to get Elon Cruz to join us. I might even get Mike Perry to join us for a little preview of this card. I'm going to reach out to him and try to make that happen. And Jamal Hill. Also going to try to get him up with my buddy Josh Furs. And I might even get the great Eric Kowal to join us too. And maybe my friend Matt Weibel from First Round Management. But anyway, Until the next time, boys and girls, thank you so much for tuning in and letting me be a part of your life today, and you guys being a part of mine. I can never put into words how much that means to me for all the support that I get from a lot of you guys out there. Stay safe. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Until next time, I am Christopher James. You've been Cage Side, man. You have a good night, guys. Talk to you soon.